Off we go.
I think this is year 3 of making a video called Back to Van Life.
Yep, we are moving back into our van for a huge summer adventure.
That's flat. Not a great spot for this thing.
In this video, we'll be making our little home livable again.
Everything's gross. Everything's gross.
Then we'll be driving many hours across the country, going to my neurologist for a checkup, then driving to our favorite state where we'll be sharing a massive announcement.
What we have planned for this year is no doubt going to be the most challenging.
So grab a cuppa and enjoy.
Thank you. Always something to fix.
Home sweet home.
A few minutes later.
This just came out of nowhere. Woo-wee! Be glad that you cannot smell this smell. Just picture taking a trash can and filling it with sweat and dirt and then putting it inside an oven and baking it for a whole summer. That's what it smells like in here. I've been looking for this bag. The last time we were in this van, oh my gosh, I'm looking for this bag too. The last time we lived in this van was November of 2023. We spent 36 days riding a 3-seater bicycle across the United States of America, living out of this van. And let's just say cleanliness was not our priority. So today, my goal is to make it smell like a spa and get the brown layer of growniness that has just caked itself on everything gone because we're leaving tomorrow. Everything's gross. Everything's gross. Everything is really gross. I have to clean it all. I've created a magic potion that is going to make all of my problems disappear, and I think it's technically chemical free. Basically mixed water, vinegar, rubbing alcohol, peppermint oil, and lemon essential oil. When I say I'm gonna spray everything with this, I mean everything. The cushions, the floor, the window covers, the walls, the air. I don't know if this is how you clean cushions, but it's how I'm doing it today. Check out our stash. Why do you have $20 worth of quarters, you ask? There was a day on the bike trip where we were desperate to do laundry. I think I might have to get $20 worth of quarters. And they've just been taking up this entire cup holder ever since. I believe these are from Mexico. Mucho pesos. I guess this is a sign that we should take the van back to Baja. I was just thinking, we bought this van in 2020 thinking that we would live in it for the summer to wait out the pandemic. I don't think we ever officially said that, but like that was the plan. And we thought we would be in it through like August or September max. And here we are, it's 2024. The closest thing we have to a home. I really do love this van, but I especially love it in small doses. I think that light means it's ready for me to close the door. I'm almost done, chill out. Get it? Oh, is our rear view camera ever gonna work again? Off we go!
I think this is year 3 of making a video called Back to Van Life.
Some would call it a tradition. Oh, we should have a van-iversary.
I'm pretty sure when we bought it, it had 90,000 miles, and now it has 181,000 miles. So in the last 4 years, we've taken this van 90,000 miles.
That is nuts.
Oh, good, I can get to this exit right up here, I think. Wow, it's so shaky. I think we gotta get off. I think we gotta stop here. Well, it could have been worse. I'll try to get as far off as I can. 25.
Oh, yeah, I don't want you on the side of the road right here.
21.
All these people getting off. Oh, gosh. Why?
Man.
Why can't it just be easy?
It's so crazy how much tire trouble we've had.
We're not far enough removed from Oman for this. I just can't help but laugh.
Yeah,
I mean, we're just so helpless.
how is this gonna hold air?
Oh, this is awful. We can't do it right here.
We have to. We can't go anywhere. Oh, ain't that. That's flat. Not a great spot for this thing. Do you see anything?
Not yet. Gosh, I went my whole life having 0 flat tires. And this is our 4th one since we've owned this van.
Thankfully, we've had enough tire trouble over the last couple years that I keep an air compressor in the back of the van just in case. I'm not sure if it will, but I'm gonna try to blow it back up and just get us up this ramp so I can find a better place to change it. It still works! It's holding air, which is a good sign. I still can't figure out what popped it.
All right, we're currently at 40 PSI. It's almost go time.
Didn't work. I think it was filling up because whatever was stuck in there was still in it, and then at some point all the air just started rushing out. So I think we're changing the tire here. The problem is I think I have to get closer to the road, get the jack on solid ground to be able to lift up the van. Like I can't do it here in the grass. What were we at?
36. Cover this guardrail.
Okay, it's not great, but we did make it part of the way up the ramp, and the tire is completely flat again. For all the car people out there who are yelling, you should have taken off the screws before you lifted it up. I just remembered that. Threw a rock up and hit me in the neck. Leverage is a beautiful thing.
This is stressing me out. Just giving everyone who drives by the death stare. Get over! Why?
I'm just trying not to get all the way under there in case the jack falls.
Oh gosh, Nate.
Problem is I have no clue how old this spare tire is, and it's definitely flat. The tire is a lot flatter than I thought it was. Okay, now to see if this new tire will hold air. Smells so good.
A few minutes later.
Should get to about 70, I think.
Yeah, you're at 50. Actually, you're supposed to be at 80.
All right, our good friend Rusty just stopped to make sure we're okay. Tennesseans, you can't beat them. Oh my gosh, what a sweetie!
Well, the spare seems to be holding air, and apparently there's a tire shop 2 exits up. So even though I'm very tempted just to drive on the spare the rest of the way to Dallas, the smart thing to do is probably to get a new tire.
Parking brake, parking brake, parking brake. This big old truck pulled over behind us. This man gets out and he goes, Karen Nate!
So if anyone would like to learn a valuable lesson from my mistake, you're always supposed to unscrew the lug nuts before you lift the car up, because it gets a little wobbly and you gotta like really pull on the lug nuts, and you can actually pull the car off the jack. And it literally left a dent in the pavement where there was still weight on the car and the jack just went slowly like this, and it just dented the concrete.
It could have been your face.
You shouldn't trust jacks and should spend as little time as possible underneath the car.
Everything about that was so sketchy, but I'm so proud of you.
All right, let's go see if Firestone can fix this. All right, you punch it. Just hit it in the middle. All right, you hold it.
Nice.
All right, it is now 6:15, and we still have 7 hours of driving ahead of us.
I just checked our ETA. 1:15.
I think we'll probably have to stop for gas twice. We still haven't had dinner.
It's dinner time right now, okay?
And Kara's doctor's appointment is at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so we have no choice but to do all the driving tonight. Tennessee, 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 Arkansas!
It's been so long. Gosh, state line signs in a weird way kind of trigger me because the amount that we biked towards doing that. There's a bike trail down there that's kind of triggering.
I will say, I think the bike trip actually made me a lot more comfortable being on the side of the road to change that tire. I just got so used to almost dying so many times every day.
Yeah, what a crazy day. Arkansas, 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 Texas. We made it to Texas.
We made it 15 minutes away from where Kara's appointment is.
My appointment's at 8:30 in the morning, which means I should be asleep. Because one thing that we know for sure is that sleep deprivation is not good for epilepsy. Feels good to be back at Walmart.
There's a car driving around patrolling the parking lot, which means one of two things. Either we're going to be extra safe tonight because we have security, or we're going to get kicked out of a Walmart parking lot for the first time ever. Wow, we have so much white noise going in here. This bed is better than any Marriott or Hilton mattress.
It really is. It is from Amazon.
Love you. It's good to be back in the van.
Yeah. No 4 tires.
Alright. Wish us luck. The last thing I want to do is have to move this thing in the middle of the night.
Don't jinx it.
Good morning. It is 6:45 and the car says it's 82 degrees. This is our 3rd time coming here, and the first 2 times were a bit stressful. This morning is a little less. There's one thing that always makes her Kara happy, so we've started a little tradition before her appointments.
I'm excited it's finally Friday. Oh God.
Starbucks. That's the tradition. Here's your coffee. How'd you sleep? First night back in the van.
Pretty good. Wish it was longer. Channeling my best energy today. When I posted my diagnosis on the internet, I was really nervous with how it would go and the response that I would get, if it would make me more emotional or more stressed. And I just want to say that I am so happy that this is all out in the open now. The comment section was so comforting, like hearing people's stories. It makes all the difference when you feel like you're not the only one. But I think the best thing I personally got out of putting it out there is all of the healthcare professionals and specifically neurologists who have reached out. One person who I feel like is my friend now actually gave me his phone number. Like it's like I have this lifeline at my fingertips. I just feel so lucky that I have that.
I think the other thing that's been really good for me is that when you're a child, you hear about a doctor and then you just think doctors know everything. I feel like I should whisper this in the hospital. But it's really just one person doing their best to diagnose something. And so to have this out there to multiple other neurologists who have basically confirmed the diagnosis and the cause, it's felt really good to me.
And I don't think many people have this luxury. So I'm really not taking it for granted. Yeah, it feels good for me right now.
How have you done since we last met?
Very happy to say that the medicine has had no side effects.
This is not going to be your dose. We will be bumping it up, but it's good that you're tolerating it well, okay?
Okay. This feels weird. I I seriously think the neurologist was waiting for me to break down because it's happened every time. And she was just like, so you're all good?
I'd say it went well.
Quick recap. I've been on a 50 milligram dose twice per day for the last month. And since it's been going well, I thought like I'm special and I only need 50 milligram pills. But I don't think I'm special. She pretty much said no matter what, you're gonna end up on 100 eventually, but like we can take our time getting there. I don't know why, just more medicine means more potential for side effects, and I would rather not take more, so that was the only kind of like disappointment. But she was happy that I was feeling good. I'm happy I'm feeling good. We decided to just go up to 75 milligram pills twice per day, and I have a follow-up in 3 months. So Dallas is turning into our second home. We still haven't experimented our normal life of traveling and living on the go with this medication. So, you know, there's a chance that as soon as we fly overseas, yeah, I start having them again and I would need to increase anyway. So I'm in a good place. This feels so weird not going straight to the mall. Should we still go to the mall?
The tradition has been Starbucks before, doctor,
straight
and
to the
shopping.
mall.
Want to go see your nephews?
Yes! I love you. Thanks for coming with me.
Real quick, Nate from the future here. I'm currently climbing a mountain in Colorado, and it's not just for fun. That'll make more sense at the end of the video when we announce our next big challenge. For now, I need to tell you about the sponsor of today's video. It's a new sponsor that I'm super excited to have on board because I genuinely love the product and I'm going to be using it so much over the next 2 months. And today's new sponsor is Element, which is a zero sugar electrolyte drink that is used by professional athletes, Olympic athletes, the special forces, and some regular people like me and maybe you after you hear the rest of this ad. The current problem with most sports drinks is that they have way too much sugar and not enough sodium. Sodium is what makes up the majority of electrolytes. So you need sodium to replenish your electrolytes, and the sugar really isn't good for you. So Element has flipped the formula on its head. Element has 0 sugar and 1,000 milligrams of sodium. I've actually got some of this water bottle right here. Now, 1,000 milligrams of sodium might sound like a lot. That's what I thought when I first heard it, but there's actually a growing body of research that shows that your body operates at an optimal level with 2 to 3 times the amount of sodium that the government recommends. So not only is the extra sodium good for you, but it also makes it taste amazing. I've tried almost every Element flavor, and my favorite is the grapefruit salt. It's super tart, super salty, pretty intense, but I absolutely love it. So if you wanna make sure that you're staying hydrated this summer, you can try Element for yourself by going to drinkelement.com/KarenNate. There will also be a link down in the description. If you use our link, you're gonna get a free sample pack with your first purchase. Also, I highly recommend trying their new cans. They sent us some of these. It might be my favorite new drink in the world. Obviously, I'm biased because they're sponsoring this video, but the carbonation combined with the saltiness makes for this super intense experience, and it is so good. You will not regret it. Give it a try. Link in the description. Back to the video.
Texas, 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 New Mexico!
It's hard to say Texas over and over.
Okay, we are currently 6 hours into a 13-hour drive from Dallas to the highest city in the US, which is Leadville, Colorado. So once again, Leadville is going to be home base for another crazy adventure, but it just feels more appropriate if we wait until we get there to tell you exactly what it is. We are going to be in the van in Colorado for the next 2 months, just to prepare for this one thing.
It really doesn't feel real.
I have a feeling that some people are going to be yelling at the screen because they know exactly what it is.
Okay, we've said enough. The last 48 hours we spent at my sister's house with my 2 adorable nephews. We always have the best time, and it is such a fun reason to have to keep going to neurology appointments. It was sad to say goodbye, but adventures call. Adventure calls. Since we have another long drive ahead of us that is hopefully extremely uneventful, we thought we'd do a little Q&A because I don't think we did one in 2023. So yeah, we're gonna do a little catch up. I asked Instagram to ask me anything, and I feel like we got some good ones. Have you guys ever thought about quitting full-time job?
I I've never pictured our life without travel being a big part of it, but I do think the longer we do it, the more we crave some type of home base.
I don't see a world where we're not traveling quite a bit. I definitely think slowing down is gonna happen.
I mean, it is.
It is. It has happened.
Am I right in saying this? We've been out of North America once this year. If you don't count the trip to the BVIs, I think Oman has been like our one big trip this year.
That just blew my mind. I think my health has given us this reason to finally do what I think we've needed to do for a while.
Especially now that we know that like sleep deprivation and stress are big triggers for you. Not changing time zones as much has become a bit more of a priority.
All right, let's just go ahead and get it over with. Do you want to grow your family and have kids? This is the top question on every Q&A, and even when we're not asking for questions, we get this question, and it's totally valid. Our answer is we still don't know, but we talk about it all the time, especially lately.
In the past week, we've been with our nieces and nephews on both sides of the family. You know, that forces you to think about it when you're around it.
Getting diagnosed with epilepsy has been a big, just like, wake-up call. Like, our worlds were kind of shaken and just made me like question a lot of things, and it's really like made me think about what it means for us to have kids, and it's something I kind of have to think about now. I don't know, it's just been on the forefront of my mind lately, and I'm more confused than ever, but I'm okay with that.
I will say, I think we're closer now to having kids than ever.
I mean, one of my first thoughts when this whole thing went down was like, oh no, is epilepsy genetic? Is this something I have to think about now? Is passing this on to our potential future children? As far as I know, it's not technically genetic, but it's like I'm on this medication that's kind of a new thing, and they're not 100% positive. So it's just forced me to go, oh, there's a chance that like I shouldn't have kids if I stay on this medication. That made me take a step back and realize I think actually maybe I do want to have kids.
I think something else that's factoring into this decision recently is this year we have had more downtime and more time to think.
We didn't have the capacity to think about it enough to make a decision.
Mom, if you're watching this, this is not a definite yes. It's just we're leaning more towards it than we ever have. Don't get too excited.
How can I get my fiance to be open-minded about van life? I mean, you can't know for sure if you like or don't like something until you've tried it, so.
There are so many platforms now where you can go rent someone else's van. So whether you're trying to decide if you want to do van life, if you're trying to talk somebody into van life, just go rent a van for 2 weeks.
Who's the better driver, be honest?
Me.
100% Nate.
Kara actually
No
hasn't
doubt.
been able to drive for the last 6 months, which you would think would be a hindrance to her life. So
I literally didn't even flinch when she said it. And I think she thought I didn't hear her correctly. She was like, yeah, I really wouldn't do any driving for the next 6 months. And I was like, okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how great is Kara as a co-pilot driver?
you are a 10 of 10 co-pilot. It
we
makes
just have
me
different strengths.
car sick to go like in the back of the van and like look for stuff.
Will we be getting more solo videos? I feel like my solo travel day video went better than expected, so I'm not opposed.
Also seemed like she enjoyed her time solo a little too
I
much.
had a great time.
We're only 5 minutes into the flight and it's already going by way too fast.
I would say there's a high possibility of more solo videos. I think we've decided that's really healthy.
Yeah. I mean, I love being together, and I cry when we have to leave each other. But then once I'm on my own, I rock it. Petra and pyramids or Great Wall?
We spent way more time at Petra and the pyramids. We only spent like 2 hours at the Great Wall.
Great Wall was a great experience, and we loved it, but
It wasn't a great experience.
I absolutely loved Jordan. Petra, obviously, but all of Jordan.
I would say Petra over the Great Wall and the pyramids.
Adele or Taylor Swift? I have to say they're the two best shows I've ever seen. They're very talented in very different ways, but I will always be more of an Adele-y than a Swiftie.
I will say,
I love them both.
taking Kara to the Adele concert in Las Vegas last year is the best money I have ever spent to make her happy. It's like, as far as like all the gifts I've given, the amount of joy that came from that one drastically outweighs the rest.
The Eras Tour is next level. I mean, they're so good in different ways. What are you listening to?
No, God.
Noah Kahan is our favorite person right now. Will Nate ever shave the mustache?
It has lasted way longer than I ever thought it would.
I hope not.
I think about it often.
You had to live somewhere outside of the U.S. Where would it be?
I think I would move to Switzerland.
Ooh!
I love the idea of being based in the center of Europe. It just feels like that's such a great location. But also, I feel like Switzerland is the Colorado of Europe.
Yeah, Switzerland's great. I can't imagine living somewhere actually permanently that doesn't speak English. Like, I'd probably just pop up to Canada, honestly.
Canada over Australia.
Australia? Okay, I love Australians. What is y'all's next big physical challenge this year? I loved the bike series. Spoiler alert, the next one is why we're going to Colorado, and we're not gonna say that right now. But the reason I find that funny is because I screenshot one time 2 comments in a row on our YouTube channel on 2 different videos that we got within a few minutes of each other. One comment was, I absolutely love your physical challenge videos. They're so inspiring. And the very next comment was, I hate your physical challenge videos. Please start making real travel videos again. But that physical picture of how you cannot ever please everyone, it was actually kind of satisfying to see.
In fairness, I think we've done this to ourselves. We've attracted a bunch of different groups that enjoy different things. And so the people that show up and watch no matter what we post, we are so grateful for, because we know that it is just a hodgepodge of things that we enjoy doing. So thank you for showing up for all of the random things that somewhat fall underneath the travel umbrella.
I feel like this is a good segue. Somebody asked how we emotionally deal with negativity in the comments, our Reddit thread. There's a lot of people coming at all angles at us. I mean, it could be way worse. I'm really not complaining, but it is true.
There's a lot of positivity, but there's also a lot of differing opinions.
And the truth is, I don't really have a go-to method of dealing with it, but it really, really matters where I am mentally, how stable I'm feeling. Because one day a mean comment will just set me off and I'll be just in a funk. And the next day I can laugh at it. I'm all over the place emotionally, but now I have an excuse because my brain is actually messed up.
I think 2 things. I think 1, this channel grew very slowly for 8 years, and so we got practice in getting a couple mean comments, then a couple more, and a couple more. And I think also COVID made us grow really thick skin. And at some point, I just truly realized that you can't please everybody, and I'm okay with it. And I think for us, it's better to do what we enjoy and what we're excited about than try to make everybody happy.
Yeah. Are you hiring anytime soon?
We currently do not have any open positions, but I understand why someone would ask that after watching the Beat Guys video.
All right, what is your favorite and least favorite content to film?
That is actually a really good question, because I feel like the answer is probably the opposite of what people expect. I would say our luxurious stuff is probably my least favorite to film, and our harder physical challenges is probably my favorite stuff to film.
What's funny is our luxurious stuff performs the best, and the harder physical stuff performs the worst. But that's why we keep doing it, is because we actually enjoy doing it.
But I will say, it's not because I don't enjoy the luxury things, but just showing up at a luxury hotel and then trying to figure out how to film a fun video with a good storyline in it is a lot more challenging than biking across the US and just picking up the camera and saying what you're doing, because the activity itself makes a good story.
Would you ever want to do a van build from scratch? Absolutely not. Never in a million years. Where will your next international travel be?
So we said we were back in the van for the next 2 months, which is mostly true. We do have 1 week in Europe planned.
But that's actually technically training. Has the slower YouTube pace helped? Yes. Absolutely, 100%. We touched on this in our last video, but take these away from me. The slower pace, only posting 3 times a month instead of 4, has changed everything. I feel myself for the first time in over a year. How are you and Nate? I had to learn the hard way that I need to figure out what fills my cup when it's empty and prioritize doing that when I'm feeling low. How are you?
I think I'm good.
wasn't very convincing.
I don't like seeing you sad, which has happened more this year. So I feel like that's been challenging for me because you're sad and it's this thing that's out of my control. I will follow that up by saying, I do think this has just made me more grateful for all the time that we've had together where nothing has been wrong and how lucky we've been. And so I do think like the main way I'm dealing with it is just telling myself that like everybody has to go through hard times in life and this is just part of life. And compared to a lot of other people's struggles, this is not that bad. But part of me does just kind of like mourns the time where everything was normal.
The worst driver of the two has taken the wheel. We're gonna put in a podcast and Nate's gonna get some work done.
Head northwest on US 87 North Railroad Street toward Liberal Street.
I'm sorry.
I would like to impact other people and their lifestyle. Really important to take mental record of where you're going.
New Mexico, 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 Colorado! We're back in our favorite state.
It's not a lot of driving to do though.
276 miles to be exact. All right, it's dinner time. We just pulled over on the side of the road and I am attempting to make the world's quickest meal. We have refried beans topped with fresh salsa and some chips. It's not the healthiest dinner ever, but it's not the unhealthiest. Part of me thinks it looks like peanut butter ice cream, and the other part of me thinks it looks like cat food. Like I'm not even cooking them, we're just eating them straight out of the can.
Are you ready for this?
I'm not about to have a heat stroke.
What is happening? Got it. This has become one of our go-to super quick meals.
We all know I'm terrible at super quick anything. I could definitely make this better.
You might just watch me try to get 3 scoops of this and the chip still is in the beans.
They can't handle the uncooked beans.
Before I tell you why we're here this time, I want to catch you up on a little bit of our history with this place and explain what makes it so special to us. And to do that, I need to go all the way back to 2016, which is the year that we trekked to Everest Base Camp with a company called I Trek Everest, which is owned by our now good friends, Rick and Beck, who you'd know if you'd watched any of our previous bike series. We met briefly after our trek in Kathmandu, but at that point, I wouldn't really consider us good friends. But then fast forward to 2020, we're living in the van full time, we're traveling around Colorado, and I get this email from Rick, who I haven't heard from in years, offering us his driveway to sleep in the highest city in the US. We figured we'd take them up on a free place to stay for the night and spend one day exploring the city. What was supposed to be a one-day trip turned into 6 weeks of living together and becoming best friends. Leadville is where the crazy idea to bike the Colorado Trail from Denver to Durango was born.
I love the Colorado Trail!
Then the following year, I came back to run a half marathon with a donkey.
Without a doubt, the hardest thing I've ever done.
The next year, we summited Mount Elbert, which is the tallest mountain in Colorado and the second tallest mountain in the continental US in January when it was negative 17 degrees outside. And then this year in January, this is where we came and hiked high up above the city and dug a survival snow cave to spend the night in.
Did you pee behind the shelter?
Yeah. No.
Did it seep through?
For some reason, this place is like a factory for crazy ideas and adventures. But what we have planned for this year is no doubt going to be the most challenging. Let me quickly change into my running clothes and then I'll explain.
Ow.
As you can probably tell by this shirt that I really need to wash. I've already been doing quite a bit of training.
I can tell by your muscles.
That is all just salt. Sun hat for ear protection because I've been spending a lot of time outside and I don't want to have skin cancer cut out of my head again. When we first came to Leadville in 2020, I learned about this race called the Leadville 100, which is a 100-mile ultra marathon through the mountains surrounding Leadville. At that time, I didn't even know people were capable of running 100 miles. It was something that just sounded completely crazy to me.
It's just a world that we didn't even know existed.
But then we started to do more crazy things ourselves, like swimming Alcatraz with no training, or biking across the US.
29029.
Climbing the vertical elevation of Mount Everest without sleeping.
Biking across Iowa. Walking across the country of Singapore.
The more of these crazy things that we started to do and complete, the bigger my comfort zone started to get, and the more I started to wonder if one day maybe I could run one of these crazy 100-mile races. But in my mind, that was one day, like super far off into the future when we weren't traveling so much and I had more time to train. But not too long ago, I think you know it's coming, I got the unexpected opportunity to attempt the Leadville 100. I couldn't pass it up.
Bye!
Most people spend the better part of a year preparing for this race, but I have 2 months to see if I can get myself in good enough shape to run 100 miles, which is why we're gonna be spending the majority of the summer in the van at elevation here in Colorado. The furthest I've ever run is 26 miles during my marathon in Greece. So this is gonna be 4 times further than I've ever run in my entire life. And the Leadville 100 is known as one of the top 10 hardest ultra marathons in the entire world, because the entire race takes place between 9 and 12,000 feet, where the air is thin and makes it harder to breathe. I'll walk so you don't have to listen to me breathe so hard. So in addition to the altitude, there is also 15,000 feet of vertical elevation that you have to climb during the race, and the cutoff is 30 hours. So basically, I'm gonna have 30 hours to run 100 miles and climb the equivalent of half of Mount Everest. This is without a doubt going to be the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. And the other thing that's not super confidence inspiring is that only 50% of the people who start this race finish. So my odds aren't great, but I'm gonna give it my best shot. Now I know that statistically my running videos aren't your favorite to watch just based on the amount of views that they get compared to our normal videos, but I really hope that you'll stick around. We have some super fun training things planned. We're actually shortly heading to the Netherlands for an event that we've been trying to get into for 4 years now. Then we'll be back out here in Colorado in the van for some other fun adventures. So I hope you'll follow along for the journey and cheer me on at the Leadville 100. It would mean so much.
I've created a magic potion. Wait, not this one. How cute are these? My mom got these shorts in like 1995 maybe. She was taking them to Goodwill. Snatched them.
Just like scroll down and then just put your finger on one and ask it.
We are new to Tennessee. Is Dollywood worth it? Yes.
No.
Yes!
No. The older I get, the more ridiculous I think theme parks are.
We had very different experiences.
You wait an hour in line to ride a ride that lasts for 60 seconds. You're literally waiting in line 1 minute for every second you're on the ride.
It's not about that. Think of all the conversations that we had.
I know, but you can do that without going to Dollywood.